Hey, we're live, looks like. Good gosh, it tells me we're upside down. I hope not. Hey, let us know if we're upside down. Bob Lust, the Pond Boss, checking in from Purina Farms. Are we upside down to you guys? Holy cow, I can't tell.
Boy, Bob, those words look upside down to me.
They look upside down to me too, Kurt. Holy cow, man. I don't know, we're trying to figure this out on the fly, folks. Let us know, are we upside down?
That's what I think.
Holy cow, Dick Tabbert is watching.
Well, you can read upside down.
Yeah, I can read upside down. There's Leanne checking in, Victor Moberg. You know what, let's, hey, we're gonna pause just for 1 minute and flip the phone number so we can read your words, because it's all coming in upside down here. So we're gonna take 1 minute, flip it upside down while we're hanging out at the Purina Farm. There you go. Uh-oh, rotate your phone. There we go, now we can see it all. Hey, good gosh, what a great Wednesday.
Man, what a great week it's been.
I'll tell you what, we're hanging out at the Purina Farm outside of Gray Summit, Missouri, near St. Louis. And I got 4 guests lined up today. We're going to have a fast-paced, rapid-fire show for you guys and gals and have a lot of fun. Kurt Schultz here, and Kurt's, yeah, I'll ring you. Oh, you gone? We got people leaving, folks. It's pretty busy right here around the conference center. So here's what we're going to do tonight. I'm going to try to acknowledge as many of you as I can, but if I don't, I'll click like for you later on. But I'm glad you're here. Thanks for joining in. Well, we've had a pretty big week so far. Another day in store for us.
Yep.
Kurt Schultz has helped put together a great conference here. And Kurt, take a minute. Tell everybody what we're doing here.
Okay, we're out at the Purina Animal Nutrition Research Center out here in Gray Summit, Missouri. This is our first Lifestyle Dealer Differentiation Conference. And the intent is to help bring some new ideas, some new skills to our dealers to help them capture new business in an ever-changing retail market. And we know how fast retail is changing. Man, it's lightning speed with the internet and all the different changes that are happening in retail. So we've got about 90 dealers here. We spent the first day talking about the trends and changes in retail. And we spent today looking at new opportunities. And Bob, I think you did a great job of really helping to open some eyes of some folks that, man, if you just look around, there is water everywhere.
There's
a great opportunity to go out and capture some new business and sell them some fish food, but all the other stuff that goes around owning and managing your own body of water on your own property.
I love that, and I tell you folks, one of the things I love that Purina's doing is they recognize that you have needs. You know, I can't tell you how many times somebody will tell me, well, gosh, what do I need to buy? And which dealer should I use? And this place is full of dealers. We're going to have a couple of them on the show tonight and talk about some of the things that they're doing to help you be better stewards of your land and water. And one of the things that I really appreciate about Purina, Kurt, is the opportunity to educate dealers. You know, and what's really fun about this one, it's you can, as you can imagine, educating a dealer about a product is one thing, but then trying to teach dealers how they can utilize their customer base and help their customers more, that's a whole nother game. And that's what's going on out here this week.
And the other great benefit about getting 90 really good dealers together is the amount of sharing and idea exchange and really what they just learned from each other.
Yes, because there's
they
a good
share
idea
good ideas, things that are working, things that they're trying that, you know, maybe no one else thought of before. So, you know, that's just a great opportunity.
Not sure how I wound up with this Purina cup, but I want to thank them.
Have you one.
Yeah, what's in it?
So tomorrow, we'll end our conference tomorrow. We got a great half a day tomorrow, and the entire day is on social media. So that's really changed the way that we communicate with customers, that we engage customers, that we grow our business. You know, the old buying a newspaper ad, maybe, you know, throwing it in the weekday paper, weekend paper.
That's over.
Probably not going to cut it anymore. So.
Yeah, I mean, just look at these guys here. We've got Mike Cottrell, Jacob West, Jason Nebstad, Zach McKenzie, Bill Russell, Lisa Sauer, Victor Moberg, already said hi, Dick Tabbert, John Funk, Lisa Sauer. Let's see, yeah, we already said hi to Lisa. Jim Fritch, Leanne Skipworth, John Mikulik from Lake Vilbig. Good gosh, yeah. Okay, so we're upside down. Okay, so oh, there you go. You guys are standing on your heads. Okay, yeah. Okay, are we right side up now?
We look right side up.
I feel right side up.
I do too.
Yeah, and the print on all the shirts. Hey, you know what? We're flying by the seat of our pants today. Usually I've got a little more time to get ready, but today we're just going to have backwards prints and we're going to have forward thinking. So John Wilson checking in all the way from Ohio, Chris Stillman, Wilson Nunley, Tori Rhodes. I don't know that we're going to get a chance to answer a lot of questions, you guys, but what we are going to do is we're going to tackle a whole bunch of topics. So, Kurt, tell us more. I mean, one of the things that this audience would appreciate is the fact that you spearheaded the effort to come in and renovate this lake behind us. So tell everybody a little bit about that.
Yeah, this is our second Facebook Live here,
Yes.
So that's great to have you back. But yeah, we used this as a part of our training today. So we had some great classroom discussion and education that you led about how to go out and find that opportunity. And then we used our own story here to talk about how we took a nasty old body of water
Yes.
that was not a good environment for growing fish. And we drained it, dredged it, put together a plan with your help, renovated the lake, filled her back up, and
put some fish in it.
We're about 2 years into having fish back in it.
Yep.
And it's amazing the kind of growth and development that we're getting out of it.
They're eating a good fish food.
Yeah, and the fish food is working great, and the lake looks good. It's what anybody would want on their property.
I love that, and that's the truth. You know, let's zero in on our audience a little bit, Kurt. Most of these folks have ponds.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to be better stewards, trying to figure out what's some of the things that they can do. You know, you guys are taking the lead from a retail standpoint to be able to provide more services, more products, you know, help pond owners more. What are some of those trends that you're seeing out there?
In
In the retail side. So in other words, if Kyle Edwards here is in Justin Hansard, county agent of Montague County, Texas, he's got people coming to him all the time saying, hey, I got moss. What am I going to do about it? My fish aren't growing. What am I going to do about it? You know, Justin, he's got his finger on the pulse of landowners all the time. He's got a Purina dealer, Barron Brothers. He's got Barron Brothers right there in his back door. You know, and so these dealers are helping like to provide fish through the fish truck. You know, they're helping with fish food. They're helping with feeders, deer blinds, you know, things like that for properties. But there's kind of a shift going on right now.
Yeah, and that's some of the things we talked about in our opening night last night was there's three really big drivers for change in retail today. Number one, it's convenience. You know, we're all time starved and we're busy and we're just doing so many things. So people are looking for convenience. Our dealers can offer that because they're there, they're local, they're a part of the community. They grew up in the community, they have those relationships, they're easy to get in and out of and shop. You know, they're not this 200,000 square foot big giant mall that you got to walk a quarter of a mile to get into and then wear yourself out walking around. They're exactly right size for the marketplace. So convenience is huge. Value is what everybody wants, and value is not always just the lowest price. It's you've got the experience and the knowledge and the right products and good products, and you're recommending. You know me. You know what my passion is. You know what my desire is for my lake.
Yes.
You're going to help me get there with expertise and knowledge and the right products.
So there's a trend. There's a shift, and Purina is leading the way to help the dealers understand that they need to be involved in that transition, even though they already know it. And you guys are kind of helping them visualize it, and then give them some tools to do it.
Yeah, and new ways to do that. And, you know, in social media, which we're going to talk about tomorrow, is a way to do that.
Yes.
And, you know, you can train, you can equip, you can give a lot of knowledge to people through a lot of different social media assets.
Yes.
And you can be relevant and real and a part of their life every day.
Yes, yes.
And you do a great job of that with what you do.
It's pretty fun.
And we're doing it here, I guess.
Yeah, you never know where you're going to be on a Wednesday evening, but here we are right now. Yeah. You know, some of the other trends that I'm seeing, you know, let's just take convenience. I know that when I refer somebody to a Purina dealer to buy some fish food, and when they go in the store and it's not there, how long does it take to get that feed?
Oh, they're getting feed every week. So
they're getting a delivery all the time.
Yep.
You know, so I tell you, part of your job is to communicate your needs and talk to your dealer, and because these dealers really do want to be of better service, you know, and most of them, they've got all the nuts and bolts, but fish food's not necessarily in their wheelhouse all the time. You know, they're used to horse and pets and cattle, you know, so now they're beginning to see that they do have a legitimate opportunity with some of the wildlife feeds and some of the fish foods. So, you know, one of the things I've heard people tell me in the past is I have a really hard time getting fish food. Well, that's changing, I'm telling you. And when you've got products that are as good as these products are, they need to be out there. And so I think these dealers are, I know they got a pretty good dose of it today. There's how many dealers here this week?
About 90.
About 90 dealers, and they're premier dealers that want to get better.
Yeah. And like you talk about, and you talked about today in your session, when you talk to somebody who's building a lake or wants to rehab their lake, you start with, what's your goal?
Yes.
What do you want?
Yes.
What do you want to do with your lake and with this body water?
Yes.
And our dealers are equipped to help them get to that point.
Yes.
So wherever they're at now, wherever they want to be, that dealer is there to help them every step of the way with products, knowledge, and service. And
That's right.
And that's what the customer's looking for.
That's right. Hey, there's Tom Davis checking in from Ohio. Hey, Tom, you know what? We've got several people here, some of the dealers from Ohio. Well, there's one from Ashland, Ohio. I don't remember all the other places, but I got a feeling your dealer's here, which is a good thing. We got about 4 or 5 more minutes. You got any topics that are near and dear to you that you think that the Pond Boss faithful would like to hear about? Let's talking about fish husbandry or pond stuff or something on the wildlife side. I mean, I'm kind of just spitting something out of there. You got any thoughts?
Well, I just think people are looking for escapes from busy lives and and busy jobs and hectic lives and owning property. Whether you're feeding wildlife or enjoying a body of water. I think more and more people are looking for those kind of escapes and owning a little piece of country, a little piece of property, and that might be a weekend property that you don't live on every day, or it might be your 3 to 5 acres or 10 acres that you live on, and
it's a lifestyle,
right? And that's what we're focused on in this Lifestyle Dealer Differentiation Conference.
Yep, that's good. Thanks for hanging out, man.
Hey, thanks for being here.
Yeah,
and I think we got a couple of good
fun
dealers that have been at the conference that are gonna talk to you, and maybe they'll share a little bit more about what they picked.
I'm gonna holler at Mike Jones, coming all the way from the Waco, Texas area here,
right.
and we're gonna
Well,
talk
good.
to him.
Good
Appreciate it, buddy.
All
We'll
right,
see you in a little
you
bit. Hey, Mike, roll on over here, buddy. We're gonna do a live show right here on Facebook Live. Sean McNulty says, hope those tiger bass are enjoying that beautiful lake. I got a feeling they're enjoying it very, very well. Hey, I got Mike Jones from Waco, Texas, Bar None Feed Store and McGregor Feed Store. So what I thought I'd ask Mike about and just kind of get his take is he's at the grassroots. I mean, he's in the trenches every day with his businesses. So Mike, welcome.
Thank you.
Hey, man.
I'm here.
I love to hear what you had to say today and last night. I thought that was really good on the dealer panel. What are some of the trends that you're seeing landowners doing based on products they're buying? And let's talk about the wildlife side as much as anything, because I know you're doing a lot with feeding deer and maybe birds and things like that. So tell our viewers a little bit about that.
We're probably seeing more and more people take more interest in what their deer look like on their property, around their house, if they have hunting ranches or deer leases, or they just want to take pictures. They're more interested in the way the animals look and their health and well-being. And so more and more people are getting interested in that. And so with that, they're buying feeders to feed the quail population that's really struggling right now, and feeding turkeys and that kind of things too. So it's really, really gaining strength to just overall wildlife, better health.
And I love that. And that, and what I just heard you say is yes, there's deer breeders out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there's high fence ranches out there. But yes, there's just as big an appeal from folks like you guys that want to just make things better for the wildlife in your neighborhood.
Yes, there's a lot of, if you go around San Antonio, there's a lot of housing additions that are out on the edge of San Antonio. They have deer running through their neighborhoods all the time, and they're feeding those deer just to have a good, healthy herd. Low fence ranches around the state, just feeding their deer to have better herds.
Just to improve the quality of life for those animals as well. Zach McKenzie just asked, tell us how many feeders y'all have on the lake behind you and the stocking ratios. Well, the lake behind us is about 6.5 acres. There's 3 Texas Hunter feeders, and I want to thank Texas Hunter for their sponsorship and Purina Mills for their sponsorship of this show. But we've got 3 feeders, and they're feeding AquaMax MVP all the way around. Some of them they're feeding AquaMax 500 for the smaller pellets to feed the bluegills. And we put, as I recall, 10,000 bluegill in there. We put about 50 pounds of Fathead Minnows, and we've stocked some red ear sunfish, I think 1,200 of those. And we've recently added, we let the forage fish get going like they needed to be, and then Sean McNulty with American Sportfish brought, I think it was 1,200. How many bass? Yeah, I think it's 1,200, 200 per acre F1 tiger bass that are feed trained. And the goal we've got with those tiger bass is we've overstocked them on purpose. Going to feed them and see if we can figure out which ones are growing the fastest, and then begin to cull those that aren't growing the fastest. So that's going to be kind of fun. So, Mike, let's shift back to you and talk about compare trends now of land stewardship compared to what you can remember 15 to 20 years ago. What are the mindsets of people out there doing now? What are those trends?
Well, I just think people are really interested in the wildlife that is on their place. They really take pride in seeing a covey of quail or a group of turkeys walk across their place, or if they see a group of bucks or a group of does run across their place. They're just more interested in seeing that they're improving the herd of whatever animal they have on their place for future generations. You know, if you're interested in shooting a trophy buck, we have items that can help you get to that. If you just want to take pictures of pretty animals, quail, turkey, dove, anything, squirrels, deer, we have that too, to where they're looking for that just to prepare the land for when they pass on and pass it on to their kids have got it and can move forward with it to the next generation after their kids.
So really what I'm hearing you say is a lot of the trends now are more about creating a better ecosystem,
yes,
and a legacy,
yes,
rather than pillaging it and taking what they can.
Yes, I agree.
And I see those same trends in the pond management business. I see more people wanting to be better stewards of their land and water. And let me ask you this: as a feed store owner, you know, part of your mission is to sell product, but in order to sell product, it seems to me like you need to be able to tell people how they use that product. Like if somebody comes in the store and says, "Hey, I've got some moss. What can I buy to kill it?"
Mm-hmm.
What's your thought process about that sort of thing? Or we can shift over to saying, if somebody wants to grow better deer or attract birds or whatever, what is your mindset about how you approach that?
Well, I think number one, you have to ask the customer what their goals are to find out exactly what they want to do with their piece of property, with their lake, with their land, however. And Purina offers us the opportunity to come here to like this conference right now, learn, have more knowledge, and then we can take that knowledge back to our employees, and hopefully we can train our employees the correct way to where they can pass that on to our customers. But the first thing is you have to ask that customer what their ultimate goal is. And then from there, you're going to ask a few more questions and figure out exactly what they want. And then we're going to try to fit the products that'll work for them in their setting. Not every product's going to work for every person. We've got to narrow it down a little bit and ask some questions and some specific questions to find out exactly what they need.
So in today's marketplace with the value and I want it now and visualize it, you've kind of found yourself in a spot where you're needing to be as much consultant as you are product salesman in order to wrap them up with the right product, right?
Yes, because if you ever offer a product and it doesn't work, that doesn't look good on you, that doesn't look good on me, doesn't look good on Purina, because I didn't take the due diligence to get the customer exactly what they needed to meet their goals.
Now this conference that you're attending here, and I don't do a lot of these conferences, but it seems to me like in years past, a lot of the meetings are teaching about product knowledge. This one's not like that.
No, a little bit of product knowledge with the fish and some deer and chickens in the flock, but a lot of this conference is about how to use social media to our advantage to tell our customers and potential new customers out there what we have to offer at our stores.
Why would some of these folks watching this show want to come in your store?
Oh, I think we have a good staff. We have great service. We offer a premium product that would help every customer meet their goal.
I love that. There you go, straight from the horse's mouth. We still have a few more minutes. What anything near and dear to your heart? The Pond Boss audience is people from around the nation who want to make better ponds, make better fish, take care of their land, have a pond that looks like that one right over our shoulders.
It's pretty.
What kind of insight can you share? Look at there's Bob Wisher checking in. He works with Purina. Good to see you, Robert. You know him, don't you?
Yes.
All right, Bruce Condello checking in. All right, John Funk says, we love watching the turkey come through our property and in the evening fly up to their roost. And you don't disturb the roost.
That's right.
Do you feed under the roost?
No, you feed away.
Ah, now see, there's a tip for you.
Yeah,
I kind of knew that, but I wanted you to know that. Yeah.
Feed away.
Okay, so when you got turkey roosting over here, how far away do you feed them?
I'd say, 50, 75 yards, because then they'll come out, you'll get to view them, take pictures if you want, and then you don't disturb them. And when they get into breeding season, they have babies, and then you have more turkey on your place to watch.
I love that.
Pretty sight.
Frank James he's from Houghton, Louisiana, near Shreveport, got a pond in East Texas. He says, how can we feed deer without attracting wild pigs?
My suggestion would be, if you have any kind of protein feeder or corn feeder, however y'all can do that within your state, I would put panels or fence around your feeders. That'll keep the hogs away. Something that's 30 to 34 inches tall. You want to make your feed pen as big as possible, because deer, when they get into a confined area, they get really nervous. So if you make your pen a little bit bigger around your feeder, you're going to have more deer jump into that pen. But if you use hog panels or some kind of prefabricated panel they have out there now that pin together, you can move it if you ever want to move your feeder, but that'll keep the big hogs and little hogs out of your feed pens.
Got it. There you go. So circle back on the question I asked a while ago. When somebody wants to feed deer, or somebody wants to feed fish, what kind of counsel are you giving them? And I know you're asking them what their goals are, but you want to provide them the best product and the best knowledge. Just give a few thoughts about your thought process once you get the goals established, and then you got to help them pick the right stuff to buy, or sometimes not to buy.
Mm-hmm. And I would say it depends on the time of year they're wanting to start feeding their deer or feeding their fish. If it's early antler growth season, we're going to push them towards AntlerMax 20. If it's after antler growth season and the rut's coming on, we're going to push them towards rut and conditioner 16 with a little bit higher fat. It's a time of year. It's what your goals are, of course, but time of year, and you always can go to one of your local Purina dealers and get expert knowledge. If they don't know, they can get you in touch with somebody. Purina Mill's website's an excellent spot to go to kind of see all the products they have, and there's some testimonials on there too that people have used the product and can give you some information that you might could use at your own place.
Good stuff. So you have resources. So you got the PurinaMills.com website, and they've got some good articles. They got some good guidelines, some testimonials. Of course, about PondBoss.com, which, by the way, kind of been in a little hurry and trying to make sure we're going to have a good show. Hashtag PondBoss Magazine. Click like and share this video to your timeline, and you'll be eligible for a drawing. Now, somebody won the drawing this week, but I'm not home to tell you who it is, so we'll have another one. I didn't bring a hat. I don't have a mug. Well, I do now. I've got a Purina mug. See, it's reading backwards because I didn't push the little button to switch the fling around. So we'll have a winner. I'll announce it next week. But for those of you that share this, we'd appreciate it, because that's how we grow the audience. Look at old Billy Birch checking in. Old Bud Catfish Birch is in the house. Yes, he is. There he is. Good to see him. What got you into the feed store business? What made you do that?
Oh, my background's grocery business. I was in the grocery business for 17 years, and a friend of mine was fixing to open a feed store, and he wanted me to kind of run the retail part of it. And I agreed, and 30, 45 days into it, they asked me to become one of the owners, and I bought into it. And then
wow.
At first we weren't a Purina dealer, but then after about a year and a half, we switched to the checkerboard side, and it's been nonstop ever since then. And I've had some good mentors mentor me all the way through, and what we're doing now. And it's based on, our business is based on our customer, servicing our customer, and doing the best possible job of taking care of our customer we can.
I love that.
And if we don't have a customer, we don't have a business.
That's exactly right.
That's
Because
right.
if they come in there once, you want to come in over and over.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask kind of a baited question a little bit here, kind of load it up a little bit. Why Purina over some of the other brands?
No other company out there researches their product or researches animals as well as Purina. You've got their backing. They've got a research team. We've got this 1,200 acre farm here that is, research is done every day. They offer a quality product at a great value. Purina's not known to be the cheapest, but you're going to get great value for what you get out of that bag.
Yeah, one of the things I tell people is it costs probably around $1 to $1.10 per pound.
Yes.
To grow a pound of forage fish to feed your bass or feed your other fish. Whereas if you went and bought Fathead Minnows at $10 a pound, it's not nearly the value that you get with these good high quality feeds.
That's right.
The less expensive feeds, you might pay 85 to 90 cents a pound to grow a pound of fish, but one of the limiting factors is those less expensive feeds or cheaper feeds aren't going to grow the sizes of fish and the rates of growth that you're going to see when you buy this better feed at $45 a bag or whatever it is. I like it a lot.
Yeah, if you buy a cheaper feed, you have to feed twice as much to get them to where you want them to be.
And for you guys out there, if you do that with a pond and the fish are converting at 2 to 1, you got 2 pounds of gain. With 2 pounds of feed, you get 1 pound of gain and 1 pound of fish waste. And guess what happens to that fish waste? It turns your pond into a septic tank. So that point right there is a good enough reason for you to be buying the better products that have better conversion rates, not to mention the fact that it makes your fish get bigger, and makes them grow faster as well. Chris Blood's checking in the Purina. Chris Blood works for Texas Hunter. Imagine that. I love Chris. The PurinaMills.com website's a great resource for finding great fish, deer, and wildlife feed near you, and we recommend it all the time. Check out PondBoss.com. Hey, thanks for the plug on my show, buddy. Chris, we love you, man. We have to get you on here one of these days and let you do some chit-chatting. Mike, we got 2 or 3 more minutes, and then we're going to shift gears and bring Dr. Mike Schlegel in to talk about some of the nutrition things. Some of the trends in retail are pretty interesting because it seems like people are buying online more. I know my wife doesn't want to go to Walmart. She doesn't want to go to the mall, and she is a shopper. But now the trends are, let's see what we can get online. But one of the things that's intriguing to me, and I want you to expound on that, is people like to come to the feed store.
Correct.
Why?
I think a feed store atmosphere is a more hands-on, eye-to-eye kind of contact situation. We as feed stores have to start looking at figuring out a way how somebody can text their order in, have it waiting for them, just kind of like the grocery companies are doing around us. But I think with some of the information, you really need to be there with the customer, either at the store or on their place, to find out their needs, their wants, what's working, what's not working, so that way you can try to help them come up with a resolution to help meet their goals on their place.
You ever go to somebody's place and look at it with them?
Yes.
Really?
We try to...
Wait, do the clerks at Target do that with you?
No, you don't get that kind of service.
Really?
No. Tractor Supply won't do that either.
Tractor Supply won't do that?
No.
You will?
Yes.
Okay, so you're going to go out to if you got a customer that needs some help, you're going to go out to the ranch or the farm or their weekend place and look at it.
Yes, so that way we can make better decisions. We can walk the place, we can ride around the place, we can see the animals. If it's a horse, goats, cattle, deer, we can look at their ponds on what their needs are based on what their place is. And then we get there, and then the customer's more comfortable when we go see them. We're in their environment.
Yeah.
We're on their place.
Yeah.
And they like showing off their place.
Yeah.
So it's good to go see.
So something else I'm hearing is not only do you have good customers, now you're making a friend.
That's correct.
And so they're building that relationship and that trust, and you're doing your part to do that.
And then we can meet their neighbor.
Whoa,
or their kids,
new customer.
And then so that's how we build our business.
And so you're really in the business to help people. And
That's
by the
correct.
way, we've got products and we've got things that we can do to help you get where you want to go.
Yes.
That's it, isn't
That's
it?
it.
Mike Jones,
That's it.
holy
Thank you
cow,
very
man.
much.
Appreciate you being here tonight.
Appreciate all you do.
That's good. Thank you very much.
All right,
Thank you.
you.
All righty. Hey, let's talk to Dr. Mike Schlegel. He's sitting over here on the ledge just kind of waiting to do his part. Dr. Schlegel is nutritionist here, and he's got a great background. Hi, Mike.
Hi, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you,
and
man.
Welcome back to the farm.
Hey, I appreciate it. Boy, we've been having a big time the last couple of days. Another big day tomorrow.
Yes, there is.
Going to learn all about social media. One of the things that I don't know if folks know this, but this guy's brilliant. He's got such a great background in nutrition, and Purina is very fortunate to have him on their team. Take just a couple of minutes and let people know your background so that they know the brain power that they get to work with here.
Well, I went to my undergraduate degree in animal science at Penn State University, got excited about nutrition, and then went on to Michigan State to get my master's and PhD in ruminant nutrition. I did a postdoc at the University of Florida and spent some time at Disney's Animal Kingdom doing research. And for the 10 years prior to joining Purina 3 years ago, I was the director of nutrition at the San Diego Zoo and the San Diego Zoo Safari Park.
What? Director of nutrition at San Diego Zoo. I mean, that's an iconic place, and that's got to be a pretty cool job. I mean, so here you are, you went from feeding koala bears and mealworms over here to wildlife and fish and what all. So what is your role with Purina?
So at Purina, I'm a nutritionist for wildlife and small ruminant technical solutions. So I am the guy who dealers or our customers call if they have questions about our products, help them understand our products, work with our R&D team to develop new products, and also work with our marketing team to evaluate our advertising and our technical materials that we send out to make sure they're correct.
So you're in the information business
Yes, sir.
as much as you're in the research business.
Correct.
Tell us, one of the things we haven't talked about, we've had you on before where we've talked about the AntlerMax products, but since we just talked to Mike about wildlife stuff, tell folks a little bit about the processes and the products and how they can use some of the wildlife products.
So in regards to our deer products, we have two main lines. Antler Advantage, which is our great deer product line for both free range and breeder deer. We have a better line, which is called AntlerMax for, again, free range operations, breeder deer operations. Our AntlerMax line has our protein bypass protein technology, which helps target amino acids through the digestive system to the small intestine to help support antler growth.
So what you're doing with that feed is rather than trying to add body mass to an animal, since some of the people out there, especially deer breeders and deer people, want to grow bigger antlers, you guys have figured out a way to develop a feed that's focused on that.
Yes, it not only supports antler growth, but it's a great feed for reproduction in the does as well.
So more triplets.
Yes. And then
And more milk.
Correct. And then our mineral technology, we have evaluated the amount of minerals as well as the ratio of minerals in the feed to that are correct to help, again, support antler growth and reproduction and health of the animal. And we have different formulations throughout the country to really meet the forage content throughout the country. Since soils are different throughout the U.S., we have tried to balance our AntlerMax feeds to meet the mineral content of those forages.
So who should feed deer? Who should and who does? Let's do that.
Well, who should is anybody who's interested to seeing the improved genetic potential of their deer. If they're interested in seeing increased antler growth, they should feed deer. Now, there are parts of the country that you're not allowed to feed deer by state law, so
you need to know that.
So check with your local wildlife agency to make sure whether you're allowed to or not feed deer. The other people who like to feed deer are backyard enthusiasts. Mike Jones just talked about the people who like to see wildlife in their backyard. I'm one of those.
Yeah.
That we are thrilled every day that those does and their fawns come to our backyard.
That's a feel-good deal.
Yeah.
And you're also making them more healthy.
Yes, we use it is a treat every day to see those deer come to our feeding area and see those fawns. And we get some turkeys as well. We put out some wildlife blocks and we see those turkeys. Now, we were hoping this past year this past summer that we would see some young ones, but that didn't materialize.
No poults. Something ate your baby turkeys, didn't
So
it?
we just saw the hens come through our yard.
Yeah, you'll have to live with that for a while.
Yes.
You know, if somebody just said, you know, I like the backyard thing and I want to attract more, but I also want to do it the right way, what kind of products would they use just to generally attract, let's just use the word wildlife, but let's segment it into songbirds or turkeys, you know, or even a few deer. Is there any one kid doing a show tonight? We're going to have a talk. Honey, hey, honey, I'm on Facebook Live. And didn't get to turn the airplane mode on, so sorry, folks. Anyway, so is there any catch-all product, or would you rather see people zero in on that target?
Well, we have a number of attractant blocks for wildlife. We have a premium deer block, which is geared towards deer. We have a game bird block that you could be used for pheasants or turkeys or quail, depending on what area of the country you are in. We have a wild bird block that's really targeted on attracting those wild birds, and the woodpeckers really like coming to those blocks and pecking at it. And they each have a little different type of grain in them to attract different types of animals. And then we have a wildlife block, which really encompasses really everything. And I see that the deer eat all of them. I see the raccoons eat all of them. I see the birds attracted to all of them.
Okay.
So it's really
So there's your catch-all product. So
you can use any of them
Okay.
to attract wildlife.
Okay.
Some are more geared to certain species than others, but they all are attracted to them.
So how much does a deer block cost at the store? Do you know?
Well, it all depends on your dealer,
Hey, dealer guys, how much is a deer block?
and they'll set the price.
How much?
$8.95 to
Eight-
$10.95.
$8.95, less than $10. How long do they last? I guess it depends on how
Well-
much out there eating it, right?
That is true.
Okay.
If you have a lot of them, it could be gone in a night,
Really?
and we see that happen every once in a while.
Do
We
you?
put out one of these premium wildlife blocks, and certain times of the year it is gone.
Huh.
Whether it's the deer that are coming or those raccoons that are coming to visit us. We are always surprised when it goes that fast.
So if the raccoons are eating all your deer block and you don't want them to, I guess you can raise the block up on a platform or something and
Yes.
put a guard around it to keep the raccoons from climbing up there.
Yes, but they're pretty smart.
Yeah, you know what? I got to tell you, when we were feeding fish at Richmond Mill Lake over in North Carolina, we put 40 feeders on platforms out in the lake, and I think 15 of those feeders were spin cast feeders. The rest were directional feeders. And we found that some of those feeders were running out of feed way before they should. So we set some game cameras up, and we saw raccoons coming swimming out
Wow.
150 yards out into the water, climbing up on the platform and spinning that spinner and eating the fish food.
Wow.
So we decided, the property manager decided to set some traps, and in 2 weeks caught 98 raccoons that were swimming out, climbing up on those platforms and eating that fish food. They're pretty enterprising little bandits.
They have ruined all my bird feeders, or they drag them off into the woods.
Fred Bingaman just chimed in. He says, our turkey are doing real well. I got a couple of groups with 8 to 10 young. Maybe you need to run over there to Brownstown, Illinois and trap some poults and bring them back to your house. Hey, Fred, are you feeding them? Or are you just watching them? I bet you're watching them. I mean, he's feeding his fish. I know that. He feeds the AntlerMax products. What, in the 3 years that you've been here, have you begun to see any trends or shifts in attitude from consumers, dealers, about product and product knowledge and information type things?
Well, I think as our consumers become more educated, they are more interested not only in growing big antlers. Certainly, that's a very important aspect of the deer business, but also just overall deer health, rumen health, and finding new ways to improve the health of deer. And they're interested in what are we as Purina doing to enhance our research to find ways to improve deer health, to reduce really antibiotic use in deer.
Okay, so it's kind of like the thought process of the consumer is leaning more toward natural things and don't prop up the animal, but feed the animal properly. Is that a fair statement?
Yes, sir.
So it's more about stewardship, isn't it?
Yeah, so we want to provide the nutrition for that deer to have the best immune system possible to ward off any diseases it may be in contact
okay.
with.
So a healthy animal is one that's not as sickly.
True.
And so that's part of what you're seeing that people are asking for, and you're helping to provide that.
Yes.
Excellent. Wow. Any new things on the horizon? Getting ready to make any launches that people need to know about? Any kind of product stuff?
Well, we still have some things in the pipeline. I don't know that we're ready to announce any of those yet.
Proprietary. Tried to get a scoop for you, but hey, you know.
But what we released in the last 2 years with our products with Climate Guard. In our
Tell about that. What is
our
it?
deer feed? It's Climate Guard's an all-natural plant substance that we have found to help deer under climatic stress conditions. It's beneficial for rumen health, digestive health. It shifts some of the starch digestion from the rumen to the small intestine to help reduce acidosis. In a study we did in West Texas, under heat stress conditions, we saw the deer that were supplemented with Climate Guard, they increased their weight, their body condition, compared to the control animals. And when you can get animals that eat through the heat of the summer, all that extra energy they're consuming is going into productive practices, whether it is reproduction and lactation or antler growth. And we have a number of customers that are telling us they see their deer more frequently during the summer, during the heat of the day, eating. Their bucks look better, their does look better. They think their fawns look better because their does are producing more milk. And it has been a great supplement that we've added to AntlerMax and supported their goals for antler growth and overall deer health.
I love that. I was going to ask you about that substance, and I was going to be a little bit of a smarty pants and say, is it a green leafy substance? But I don't think I'll ask you that question. Hey, you know, one of the things I love about Purina is always on the hunt to make better products, to make better animals. And I don't work for Purina, but I completely buy into that concept, and I can see it happening every day.
And certainly we're doing that with our AquaMax products. Our goal is to make the best fish food available, and looking at how we can, again, not only improve growth, but improve the health of the animal, which will improve growth.
You bet, you bet. You know, I noticed back there, hey, look over my, whatever shoulder this one is right here. There's a dock back there. There's a big dock there, but there's a small dock back there. See it? Well, there's a number of cages down there with hybrid bluegill in it, and they're doing a feed trial with different kinds of feed to see how those fish react. So there's always something going on out here.
Right.
And I love the fact that there's some research going on this lake now that it's been renovated.
Yes, that was one of the things we have been waiting for when they started talking about getting the pond renovated, is that we want to get our research cages back out there.
Yes.
And generate some information that we can share with our customers.
Love it. Mike Schlegel, Dr. Mike Schlegel. So glad you're here, man. You're welcome. Glad you're here. We'll have some more fun tomorrow learning about social media and marketing and how to get the word out. Hey, next up to bat, I've got a longtime friend of mine, Reggie Underwood, owner of Art Country Store in Waxahachie, Texas. And he said some things today we had a presentation out on the dock back here behind us, the big one. And he had some really, really good thoughts. So Reggie, holy cow, I've known you, and you and I have known each other for a long time.
We have. It's been a great experience.
Yeah.
And only getting better.
Yeah.
Only getting better.
I'm glad you're here. What are some of the trends that you're seeing in your feed store there at Art Country Store in Waxahachie, Texas? When people come in and just kind of take us through your thought process and your staff's thought process when a customer comes through the store.
Okay. Well, one of the things, let me explain. We've expanded. We're not only in to better serve the county, which is Ellis County, Texas, which is, for those of you, we've got viewers all over the country. We're south of Dallas, Texas on I-35 about an hour. We've also expanded to the west at Midlothian, which is on the road 287 that takes you into Fort Worth. So that's Ellis County. And what I see for trends there, Bob, is we've got people that are moving into the area. There were several larger places that are now 10, 15 acre places, but because of the topography of the area, there's now water or a pond on that topography.
Okay.
And they come in and say, well, I've got this growing in it, or I want to have a real, we're going to have a wedding at my place and I want the water to look really pristine, or I'm concerned about the water. How do I make sure that it's safe? If my kids want to go down to drink it, if my horses were going to drink it, if we were just going to go down and swim in it. And so those are some things that I see. There's really a concern about the quality of water that we're capturing on the soil surface. And so the first thing we do is ask, like I think Mike had mentioned, what are the goals, or what would you like to see that pond be? Is it that I'm fortunate, I've got grandchildren, and so we've dug a pond this last year, and one of the things I want to see is it to have big fish.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want them to be grandkids to catch those big fish. And so what we identify with that is, okay, what fish am I going to stock? I can't put those great big nice largemouth bass in there and think I can feed them an AntlerMax product and they're just going to grow bigger. But I can put the food chain process, in other words, like you mentioned, the Fathead Minnows. I can do some things about the water quality and how I manage that.
Yep,
that bluegills and builds on the food chain there, so as that those people can see a continued growth in that pond.
So when our viewers are passing through your neck of the woods, or pretty much any Purina dealer's neck of the woods,
exactly.
One of the big trends nowadays is you guys want to provide as much service as you do product.
Exactly.
So I know Mike was saying that he likes to go out to some of the properties from time to time and really kind of wrap his brain around what it is people are trying to accomplish. That way he can say, well, here's what we have, here's what we offer. Do you do that?
We do, and there's two components of that. First off, is there's a great resource that my sales team uses called Google Earth, because now we can pull up, well, where is your property? Well, it's off of 287 or 157, whatever the Google address, we can pull it up and then identify, well, is this the pond we're talking? Yes. And then we can have a discussion. We can look at the topography about that, so as we can get an understanding of how much water is going to be coming to that pond. You mentioned today in a training for my information, is if the watershed is only a few hundred acres and they've got a 20-acre lake, they may be a long-term coming to fill that pond.
Yes.
In Texas especially. So it's really to analyze what that area is, and then second, put some boots on the ground out there with that customer, so as we're talking to them, asking them what they like about it, what their concerns are, what the issues they see, and how do we solve those problems with those customers.
I love that. When I first enter somebody's property, I'm looking at things like how they trim their trees. Is the lawn manicured? Can they drive a tractor under the trees? Is there a browse line? What's the lawn look like? What's the house look like? And that gives me some insight before I even go up and start talking to them as to how they like to do things. Do you do things like that when you're pulling up on the property?
And that's a great thing about ours, because there's so much new development. So what we also look at is that, because of our background and we were training our team, is to look and see what kind of watershed protection. Is there grasses and all that's filtering some of that silt before it gets into the pond? I think Kurt spoke here that they hauled off
38,000 cubic yards.
Yeah, 3,000 truckloads plus of silt out of this pond.
Yep.
So that may be a situation our customer may not be aware of, so we can evaluate that. We get in a little John boat or a little kayak and paddle out on the lake and do a little depth measure and say, well, you thought this pond was 15 foot deep. In reality, it's only 5
really
foot
not.
deep.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's
So
right.
that way we can help set expectations, and then they have an understanding. We're not just trying to sell them something. We're trying to service them with what they want to accomplish.
There's the take-home point from tonight's conversation with all these guys, is they want you to end up where you want to be. And oh, by the way, there's products that will take you there as well. You know, when I'm consulting out on helping people design lakes, that's the kind of thing I'm looking at. Because I think part of our job, Reggie, is people out there don't know what they don't know.
Exactly.
And our job and our experiences are to help them learn more about things that they can do, and then help them get there. And which, you know, for a retail store, that means they're going to need to buy some products at some point.
It does,
But that's not really what drives you or motivates you or wants you to get out, because you're going to end up with a bunch of friends out there. I mean, how many customers do you have, or friends that started out as customers?
That's it. You know, we just do business with our friends is the way I look at this.
There you
business.
go. I love that.
Is that, you know, and the thing we talked about our relationship and how long it's been. And so we've done wildlife seminars. We did a package when we first started Art Country Store specific to Waxahachie, and then we evolved to a pond management workshop, and we involved Purina and yourself. And the great thing about that is that I have the opportunity, Candace, Austin, my other team members have the opportunity to come here to the research center to learn about specific needs or specific issues, and then how to go back and solve those issues.
I love that, folks. That pretty well tells the tale right there. Now I'm sitting there looking at my phone. We've got a microphone plugged into it because we were surrounded by buses earlier, and the battery hasn't been charging. It's about to run out of juice, so we're going to kind of wrap this up here pretty quick. And I see, look at there, who's on there? Look, there's Candace right there.
There she is.
Yeah,
She's
Dad's
doing it right.
And Dad is doing it right. He's doing a great job. You know, and I tell you, that's one of the things I appreciate about Candace and Reggie and the other dealers that I get to work with is they're sincerely interested in helping landowners. You know, so the next time you go to a feed store, go in and talk to the owner, or go in and talk to the manager, and just introduce yourself. They don't want you just to come in and pick something up, put it on the counter. They want to get to know you. Is that a fair statement?
That's a real fair statement. And you know, that's a great thing about the whole network of the checkerboard, the Purina dealers, is it's really about that relationship with that customer, how we can serve you, how we can, and here's my experience in only 40 years in this business, is that the better the dealer is, the better the customer is. Because we're bringing new ideas, or we're improving old ideas, or we're readapting ideas that have worked in the past and haven't been utilized in a long time. So those are the aspects that the whole Purina network across the country, I think, has a vision in their plan.
That's outstanding. Reggie Underwood, man, thanks for hanging out. This was really fun.
Thank you,
We
Bob.
covered a lot of ground in a short period of time. I look forward to coming back to Art Country Store and having another pond management seminar one of these days, and
That sounds
we'll
good.
let people know about that. And thanks for tuning in tonight. We're about to run out of battery, so we're going to run out of time a little bit early. Thanks for joining me. Don't forget, share this video to your timeline and ask some of your friends to join in with us some, because we'd love that. Hashtag Pond Boss Magazine. Buy a subscription to Pond Boss, $35, cheaper than a Friday night date, and it lasts a year. So thanks for tuning in. We will catch you guys next Wednesday. I'll see if I can come up with a topic between now and before then. Thanks for watching. If I can turn it off here, boys.